Okay, so right now what we're going to do is I am looking for my AR team members. That means they have to have 25 points or more. And so I'm going to switch it around if I can. Nope. Okay. So we are on Renaissance, and so I'm going to go to reports, and they're reading, school points, student points, excuse me, right there. And so I have 4 readers, but I'm wanting to do them in order. So I've got my first reader. So with Renaissance, you have these dates from the first of the year to the last of the year. And I want to make that a little bit narrower. So I'm going to move it to November. And I'm going to go the 17th because I want to see if anybody, if anybody was on there. So I got on TLC and I'm at the Barrio replacement barcodes. And what I'm going to do right here is it says enter the Barrio card's ID. And then sometimes you come down here and it says finish, but it's not where you can click on it. This one does. So you have to kind of go through it. As a new librarian, I've had to do it several times. Like, what did I miss? Okay, so right now we need to make it a PDF format, and it puts it like that. Okay, so right now we're doing some emailing, and we have old projectors that have no bulbs that are not working. So we're looking for that, and I'm sending out an email about that. And then also what I've done today is I've got an invoice for the AR reading team shirts, and I'm getting that connected and sent off to my secretary so that I can get the shirts order going. So here I've written to the librarian at a sister school. She goes there at 234, and we just consolidated with them. So she might have some old projectors that she's not using. So sending that off. If that doesn't work, what I'm going to do is send off one to all the media specialists / librarians. And so we're doing that. Here it came in for the invoice and for my AR shirts. And so what I did was I sent it off to my secretary, and with the quote.
Web, it's all the same. It connects our computers, our tablets, our phones, and even our TV.
All right, now I want to show you something before we start talking. Okay? Do you see this right here? It said Disney Education. Now it's not coming back on there. But Miss McCarty didn't do it. She borrowed it from them. And when we borrow information from a book or the internet, when we write something maybe about animals, we don't copy every word. We put it in our own words, okay? Did you guys do a research on animals yet?
I did.
Did you? Let's talk about some of the things that we learned. How do we have good digital citizenship? How do we act on the internet? Number 1, we never what?
Tell people our name.
Tell people our name. But what if it's not? What if it's just something that pops up? Can we do that? Why not?
We get out of it. We get out of it.
It's a stranger.
If it's a stranger,
What's another thing we could do? Press the
get
edit.
out of it.
Get out of it, but what if you don't know how to get out of it? What should you do?
Ask your parents.
That's exactly right. Ask an adult, your parents, if it's at school, right? We don't get on anything that pops up. Did you see how that thing popped up on him? And what could happen to our computer if we clicked on that?
A stranger will take you and take you away.
Well, if we give our name, it might not be, we're giving private information, right? But also, if something pops up, then it could mess up the computer, right? You ever notice that the computer runs slow and you're like, the phone, and you're like, why is it running so slow? Because sometimes we click on those things that say
Like on my GG, I keep on having to wait to take Alfredo.
Interesting, okay? Now I know we're in kindergarten, so I'll read this to you. Did you see something weird on the internet?
Yeah.
So if this something comes up that you don't know about, or you kind of sometimes you see something you're like, ugh, that makes me feel weird. Tell your parents. And look right here. See this? Click safety. And over here, child focus, the CC, that's who created this video. Okay, so Miss McCarty borrowed it, so I wanted to tell you guys that this is from them, okay? All right. Go ahead. We don't get on anything that pops up. Did you see how that thing popped up on him? And what could happen to our computer if we clicked on that? We're doing the Kahoot with the information that we created. Which username tells us too much? Very good. So if something pops up, then it can mess up the computer, right? You ever notice that the computer runs slow and you're like the phone and you're like, why is it running so slow? Because sometimes we click on those things that say free.
See if this, I believe this is on another school's. We need to transfer it over. Okay, so it's saying that this book should be moved to Velasco, but the librarian from Velasco sent it to me since I have a pre-K kindergarten on campus. So I'm going to look over here, and it's saying it's at Velasco, so I'm going to edit it right here. Change it from Velasco to O.A. Fleming. It's important to put circulated by, and then I'm going to change the holdings code on here as well, then save changes. Now right here, that gives the holding code for O.A. Fleming. So I want to make sure it's in circulation because sometimes you can do all this and it doesn't work. So I'm going to scan it again. And there it's working. And if I look at it, there it is, everything's ready to go. Click in here, everything is changed over. I've been working on a reading log for our students. We have them fill it out. We would encourage them, parents, to read with their student every 20 minutes every evening or day. We have our population is pre-K, kindergarten, and 1. So we have an initiative of Read 2020. So we want every student to read 20 minutes, and we believe that all, the initiative says that all students that start read 20 minutes a day will be on grade level by the year 2020. So we started very early at this age. So what I have to do on this is the same as like with March. I'll show you March. And I just have to insert everything. It's just a PowerPoint we had downloaded off Teacher Pay Teacher. And I have to insert the logo. And sometimes it's fun to find that little bit later where exactly was that? So put it in here. I've been kind of playing with it a little bit to see what is better, because I want the teacher name, and first I just had the student name. Then I kind of had to look around and say, okay, I don't like that there. It's too small. So I'm going to put it over here. These change every month. So every month you just kind of have to play with it. So that's that. And then of course I'll add the Read 2020. Okay, so 2 days ago when they were in here, we did the Very Quiet Cricket and author study. So what we're doing today is an art project connected with that, with the author study and focusing on the Very Quiet Cricket, but they can do what they want. Danielle, tell me what you're doing, baby.
I'm just coloring like the cricket, and then I'm gonna color these legs, and then I'm gonna color the head, and then I'm done.
You remember the book we read with it? The Very Quiet what?
The Very Quiet Cricket.
That's right. And so what did you put right here?
The crickets.
What did you use, I guess I should say? The tissue paper?
Yeah.
My experience, what I have found is that with principals, they really like to look at the data, even though, you know, they just want to, I think it's part of us advocating for our jobs and showing, yes, we're doing this, this, and this, because, you know, so that they don't just think, well, she's in there checking out books. And yeah, she kind of runs the AR, but, and does different things. So I try to be proactive with my principals. Ugh, I don't like the way that turned out. So I'm going to have to get this cleaned up and send her all this data. On the 9 points, so for kindergarten, first grade, that means they read at least 18 books. So that's pretty good. There you go. Remember, we give the library card first. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. Can I look at it with you? These are beautiful pictures. Thank you. Library card first. Excellent. All right. My goal this year was to update the early reader collection. I had a nice over 5,000 for books, plus I borrowed from other areas. And so I called Mackin and I told him, listen, this is what I want. I want early readers. I want AR level books, kindergarten through first grade, because that's what I was lacking. So they developed a list for me so that I didn't have to search everything out, and they curated a list for English and Spanish. And so I went through and I looked through them, and then I had different ways of looking at it, and I wanted to make sure that they were, you know, when I had updated my list, and I made sure that they were exactly what I wanted, Mackin bound, how did I want it, and it worked out really well this year. I'm very pleased. Do you see your name? There we go. Very good. And then you're gonna draw it, and then we'll do a map. There you go. Keep here. Are you ready? Thank you, Jaden. You have to wait until class is okay, so we're going to do... So I'm repairing the book. I've got some book tape over here.
Romeo and Vana. Romeo and Vana.
This is fairly minor compared to some of the things I have seen.
Louise Rivera. Aiden Bravo. Aiden Bravo.
It doesn't look...
Cadence Quinn. Cadence Quinn.
I thought there wasn't any more. It's getting a little worn, but it's still okay. So here is a little bit of tear in the book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair it. Okay, so we're checking in books for a class that brought them early to make it a little bit easier. Eventually I would like them to do self-check-in, but they're still small, and a lot of times the pairs will help me with check-in. So, grabbing the book, scanning it in. Sometimes we know that it's messed up if it makes a different kind of noise. And we want to make sure that the name comes up right there. It's been really great that I've been, before, the pairs there's certain pairs that really enjoy doing it. There's 2 assigned to me in the makerspace as well. And there's some pairs that really enjoy doing the library, and it's fun to share the, I don't know, just the joy of the library, and there's certain people that like doing certain things, so we work on it together. Earlier, the students brought in the books for me to check in, and I was able to do it earlier because I have a little pocket of time. So right now what I'm doing is I'm checking, making sure that the student's clear. So when we put the library card out, the student is clear. It's because some bring theirs in and some don't. So we have some books that we're going to stock and put on the place for the kindergartners to go. And we put them over here so that they're not necessarily, it's free choice, but then, excuse me, it still gives them, it doesn't, they're not just pulling things off the shelf, pulling. So we try to change them out within classes, and then also, you know, have a new selection for the students. We are with Becky, and earlier this semester she came in and we were talking about it, and she was looking for research to help her daughter on a project that was outside of school, right?
Science fair.
Science fair, and she did really well. And so, like I had talked about before in the videos about reference materials, we'd have all these things on the database, and because she's just in 1st grade, it was hard to find something in print, particularly in our library, because everything that we had weeded was very much older. And so I told her, well, let's look on the databases. We're on BConnect Junior, and this is what every parent and child can go on. And so we use it in the classroom, and how we have all our databases connected is the Macavia. So this is how we instructed Becky to do. So go to BConnect Junior first, and then Macavia, because Macavia has all those databases, and it has like a place where you can read as well. We're going to go to databases, and then you're going to look through here, and we'll see what works out best for them, and then whatever you're looking for as you're researching. If she maybe comes home and says, Mom, we're researching like animals or things like that, then we'll go. Now look at this Gale databases. It's probably, if we click on that, it's probably not going to be specific for our kids. It's just a little bit high. So primary would probably be the best that we would look through. Anytime she comes home, utilize this, because the district pays for it, and if we wind up not using it, then they're just going to take it away. And so, but it's really a great way. You know, when we were kids, we had to go to the book, and we had to go look for research and everything, and it has a lot of things listed, like, well, it'll cite it, you know, at the end you're supposed to put your sources. That's where they'll have that as well. Good morning. Today I'm at FIS, Freeport Intermediate School, and so what the librarian here has for me is she wants me to pull all these things for students that are coming in, I believe for other classes as well, for research. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we went through here and we pulled the books that she asked us to. There are certain, and then kind of cross-referenced it. And the ones that have the lines are ones we found. So she's pulling them, I believe, for different classes. Okay, today we're going to talk about how to delete out of our new system with cataloging. So TLC Library Solutions just redid it, and so this is what they call our launch pad, and our launch page, excuse me. So cataloging is where we want to go to delete. The system is really done nicely. The other one looked a little bit more antiquated, especially compared to this. So what we're going to do here is, says find titles in your local database. So what we can do is we can put it for the, type the number in, or I can just scan it. At the workshop I didn't have access to the scanner. So here I am just scanning the book. Okay. And it's going to load it up. And why I'm doing this is because I just have been going through my books and they're just kind of grimy titles. And they just need to be deleted out of here. Click on items. So right here, I'm looking here at the barcode and making sure it matches. So if I look here, excuse me, it matches. So all I have to do here is go and click on this item right there, and then down here I'll just go to delete. And there used to be so many more steps and it wasn't as nice to look at. And are we sure? Yes. And there it's deleted. It's hard sometimes to delete a book when you don't have another copy of it or one available, but you know, the quality of this book is just not very good at all. And this is actually, well, that's a torn page. This is actually one of the better ones that I'm deleting, which is pitiful. So this is a SMART that I've worked on for school, and I'm sharing it with our staff about how to ethically, you know, share information and what, you know, with plagiarism, copyright, how to kind of teach those ethics and what we need to do. So I think teachers tend to just copy and paste when they see something. They think, not they, but I think in general what we do is people will just say, well, if it's allowed because I can copy and paste it. I can do it, so it must be okay. We just kind of have to reteach it, respecting intellectual property. Something that's kind of like a pet peeve for me is ethically, how are we supposed to use pictures and images? And Pixel and Pixabay is this one place that you can go get beautiful images for free. And so I put those tabs there. When we're talking about plagiarism, again, I talk about teacher pay teacher, which I think is abused. Copyright, the 4 fair uses, Creative Commons, the common licensees. That integrity starts with us. We always expect our students to follow the right way to do research, different things, but we don't necessarily do it in the classroom. I think we share inappropriately, you know, not ethically. This is just some kind of things that I have with the library. Internet ethics, and then I have a bunch of links that they can go to and resources. The references that I have there for what I have used is also listed. So right now we're doing the book fair totals and everything. This is the chairperson's toolkit, and I don't know anyone that's not a librarian that does this, so I think this is kind of always under the librarian's thing. So I'm adding up all the totals. Here's the calculating the sales, and they have it how you break down how you want it. They want it, excuse me. So it's been a long week, but it's been a lot of work, but it's good. And it brings you through. Once you know your numbers, it's pretty easy to do. And they have reports that you can get at any time off of the registers, which is nice. So here's my calculated sales summary. And then it's going to ask me on this next one different things. So this is kind of cool. I can get that amount, or I can break it up however I want. I've earned the dollars in that. So I'm probably not going to do Scholastic dollars. I'm going to do, well, I'll do a little bit of Scholastic dollars, but I'll do mainly cash, because Scholastic dollars means you have to do the Scholastic catalog. Okay, so our district is switching out laptops for all the teachers and staff, and we're, you know, everyone has their own, but when they're getting the new laptop, they will not have DVDs with that laptop. So it is our job as librarians, media specialists to catalog. We have 10 per campus, 10 DVDs per campus. So our job is to catalog through them. So what I've done so far is I've gotten the labels and I've put them on there, the barcodes, excuse me. And as a suggestion from my district lead, as I put the individual, also right here, put the number that we have. And that'll be helpful when we go to catalog them. So right now, all but the first one, everything's been done on the first one, but the rest of them we need to catalog. And I'm going to show you how we're going to process and catalog that. So our first step after we have put the barcodes on and the numbers, we're going to go to cataloging. And what I'm going to do right here is I am going to put what I'm going to list. So LG, Slim Portable, DVD writers. It's kind of hard to do both. Okay, and then I'm going to, oops, excuse me. Search it. Okay, so here's the item, and I'm going to click on that. I have one already listed, and then I'm going to add an item. Okay, now I'm going to go over here, and I've already got my barcode on there, so I'm just going to scan it in. Now I need to make sure that, don't scan to this one, but scan my school. Okay, and that's on there. Okay, it's saying it's in processing at this time. So now I go to the owning collection. The location's already on there because I'm specifically on my site. Okay, so what we did, we are going to do the owning collection, and so it's going to be equipment. This is kind of starting off where we were at. We're going to put the shelf location, and thankfully I have notes from my district lead. So my shelf location is going to be the initials of the school, my code, which is OAF, OA Fleming, and then EQ for equipment. And go down here, and the price is $25. So I put that in there. So we're cataloging. Oops, not 25,000. There you go. And the year's 2018. And this copy, we want to make sure, because I have 10 different ones, to put in the copy number, and that's we're working on number 2. Okay, then we're going to go down to this technical serial number. So that's the code, you know, that is not what I give it, but what the company has it, and we can use for different things. So right now, what I'm going to do, and that's going to be right at the top, I'm going to scan that first one. All right. And right now, it says in processing. Okay, so I kind of want to look. I'm going to make sure I have everything on here. Okay, so Barb, our counselor, is needing to get a video uploaded to a YouTube channel. Her son tried to do it, but our district is kind of not doing it well. It's not working out. So we're going to go and we're going to look, and I'm going to talk to Barb about how to do her own YouTube channel and see if that is a way that we can figure out how to upload it for the meeting today. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm here with Barb, and we're working on the YouTube channel and see if we can upload this for the video, volunteer video for the meeting. So we need to go to YouTube, Barb. Okay. And we're going to click on this, and then so right now it's under my name, and we're going to go under my channel. And so what I'll do for you, Barb, is we're going to go ahead and work it through mine and see if we can't make it work. And then we're going to customize the channel. Okay. And then what you need to do is we're going to add content. So it says we don't have any, I don't have any uploads. So we're going to upload the video like that. So what we can do is you can send it to me this afternoon after class, or I'll come in to your computer and we'll work on that and see if we can
I'll look
problem solve that way.
trying.
Okay, so we're showing you about flex scheduling. So Miss Salazar's class comes in a lot of times during lunchtime, right after their lunch, and between I have a little pocket of time, and they come in and they check out books when they can.
Valentine's Day, I showed you Emily Arrow, the book that she reads about Valentine's Day. And I said, I am looking for this book. I want to show you the video, but I can't find the book. Do you remember that? You don't remember? Well, guess what? It's the one that says, I love you already. And I looked for it, and I didn't have it. So you know what I did?
What? You bought it?
I didn't buy it. I called up the Freeport librarian, Miss Melissa.
And then
I
you
said,
got it from her.
Yes, I did.
Because I saw the book. I
It's
saw the
not a
book next to
surprise?
your computer.
Yes. So when you ask somebody for that's not in your library, and you ask for another book, it's called Interlibrary Loan. So Miss Melissa said, "There's this book. I can't have it for my kid. Don't have it for my kids. Can you look for it?" She got on her computer and she goes, "It's not here. It's in Brazoria, but I'll get it for you." And she got it for me, and she put my name on it, and I went and got it at the Freeport Library. And what? Look at here it is. And when I'm finished with it, where am I going to put it back?
In the library you got
In my
it from.
library?
No, the other library you got
The
it from.
Freeport Library, that's right.
Yeah,
And
wait,
so,
I always go to when I get books, I go to the Freeport Library.
that's right. So, could you check out this book?
No, yeah.
Yes.
And then return it?
if it's not in Freeport, what would you say to the librarian?
I'll get it for you.
You say, "Can I find? I have this book. My teacher read it. It's called I Love You Already." And she'll say, "Okay. Can I have your library card? Let me talk to your mom, and then they'll reserve it for you." And that's called interlibrary. We're talking about flex scheduling. So Miss Salazar's class comes in a lot during lunchtime, and so what I'll have them do is I'm going to just let you do it. Jimena wants you to go over there, put your bookmarks on the table, and then we're going to check in and you guys check out, so that we don't have to do it during class time. Okay? We're good?
So, something that I've learned this semester with professional development, we had a day of learning about the new catalog. So they have a new launch page, and before it was very, like I had said on other ones, it was very antiquated. And so we had all about a thing in cataloging. And I talked about it on another video, but I wanted to show you because I knew that was a check. And so you would just scan a book if you needed to delete it, or it's just, this is TLC, and I just really Library Solutions, and it's just really nice. So she had us specifically put it on our site, and then just to scan it. And see here they have different things that they're working on. You have the workspaces, authorities, import.
Teachers, could you please bring the remaining students into the office? Thank you.
And so we're going to scan it. And so on here, we can check it, and it's got everything listed here. And they said there's going to be a new update, so this is really well. We spent a day learning about this. And for me, I was still getting used to the other catalog, the other way of looking at it. So so this is kind of basically what I'm saying. It's all new to me. So I was kind of learning it, but still having to figure it out every time I kind of looked at it. And this just puts it together so well. So I could go on there and do that workspace that was saying, or items, add another item like we did before. Click on this, actions, and to delete and duplicate, it's just that quick. So it's really amazing to look at, and just beautiful, like laid out. So this is something that we worked on in January, and before it came down and she's like, don't mess in cataloging. And then through this shortcut, we can still do all those the reports, the kids. It's all hooked up just so nicely. So the reports that I want to go to, it's all here. And these were kind of all in separate little locations, are hard for me. And I know it was my first year, but still, it's good. So right now, what's going to happen is certain parents are coming in, and the bilingual classes have done a thing where they come in after school on Wednesdays, and it's called kind of a literacy night, or they work with the parents, and they come in and in coordination with the library. And so we're still waiting on the other teachers to come, but our parents already come in. So this is the display that we have for Name That Book, which is our district initiative, and we're going to have a competition. And I have students that I've chosen now in March that are going to be a part of the competition. And so what they're going to do is every day they come in, every day they come in the afternoon, I review with them, and they're going to check out a book. They've already all read them, and I've read them all to them. They're going to check out a book and read it with their parents, and come back in the morning, change it back out again. So I have a small campus, pre-K, kindergarten 1, and it's hard to do book displays because everything is so high up. But next year on our new campus, I did request something to display the books right at the different checkouts and everything. So this right here is our reference section, and it looks a little sparse, but that's okay, because when I came into this library before, most of all these shelves were filled. This whole area I just showed, even over here, was filled with reference material. The problem was that my campus is early elementary, and so I had encyclopedias in here from like 1972, and I had professional development books, quote books, that were really, really, really old. So what I did is, instead of just having the dictionaries here, we put some in the classrooms, and we put things that are relevant for pre-K kindergarten 1. Here is our professional, and I have some in another area, but also there's some in the office, things that we want to keep. Thankfully, my principal is also a weeder, and she was good with it. And we have a big, our library is very old, so some of the materials were just really gross. But the main thing is why I have a lean reference section right now is because so much of our things are on the computer. So we are a one-to-one campus, and we have databases, we have, dictionaries, everything within our thing that we want. Now, if somebody requested something, I will do interlibrary loan, or I'd find it for them if they want a specific professional development. So we'd figure it out, but this right now is our reference. And another thing is, when I was thinking about weeding, was because next year we're about to move again, so what do I really want? What do I really want to keep? Okay, so let's go ahead, and I would love for you to read this to me. All right, so what does it say? Lapter.
Lapter.
Mm-hmm. And what is this a book about?
By Charlie's Dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. By Charles what?
Charles Lenny.
Good, that's really good. Wow. those pictures. Okay, go for it. Is that... All right, so remember when we read, we want to point to it. Okay. Velaptor.
Velaptor. The velaptor lived a long time ago. It lived about 70 million years ago.
Good. Now I want to show you something that might help you later on. So when we point to it to kind of tell us that's where it's at, instead of going like every word like this, just do it at the end, either this side or this side, because it kind of keeps your place. But you know when we read or when we watch TV and we put the pause button on it, when we do this, it's almost like we push pause. So we don't want to read like duh, 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 duh. We want to read a little bit smoother. Okay, go for it.
The velaptor was small. It was about the size of a turkey.
Okay. So do it like this. Like this.
Most dinosaurs had skeletons.
So one of the ways that we promote family programming and getting books and connecting with parents is through our book fair. So I'd like to show you some things of that we did with our book fair. All right, Cameron's in here and she's looking for a book, and she says she's interested in information but also a storybook. So, Miss Cameron, what kind of things are you interested in learning more about?
Snakes?
Excuse me?
Snakes.
Snakes, okay. Is there anything else?
Penguin?
Okay, so if you stand back for a second, look at this. See how it has all the different little places that you can go? And it kind of tells us this is about plants, this is about animals, insects, sharks, snakes, okay? So if you're interested in snakes, you're going to look at something like this, and then behind here is going to be it, okay? Now you said penguins, so penguins are in the animal section, so it's going to be in this area, okay? All right, so you go ahead and go and choose what you want, and then we'll check it out later. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? Cameron, you made your selections? Let me see what you got. Wow! And I saw the other one. You did like snakes. You like snakes?
I hate them,
Yes?
but I like them because I already saw them in real life.
Ooh! All right, good job.
One.
So right now we're looking at our invoice that we did with Scholastic. We had 3 book fairs this year. The second one was one that was just for basically students to be able to get to free books. And we talked about that earlier on one of the videos, that a representative and a company came, and they, for all elementaries, they were able to get 2 free books for each elementary student. So the first book fair we did really well, and I don't know what they had set the goals before, but we set it for 5,000. I think it was like 3,900 they received in sales. And so we set it for 5,000. 5,000 being without sales tax, because Scholastic doesn't count it that way. And so that was the biggest book fair that in Fleming history. And then so now to this time we made this says 58, but without sales tax and all that it was 54. I think it's right here. It's a little over $5,400 is what we made for tax that. And so when I talked to my principal, I said, what goal do you want to set for the spring? And she said, well, maybe we should go lower because the spring is not as much. And I said, she goes, what do you think? And she honestly wants to know what I think, and so I said that I felt like that we should do it at least 5,000. So we did, and we met it. Well, we went way over, so we were able to really promote that on social media, and our staff, with our students, that we just did the biggest book fair that we've ever had. So here is just some of the areas that on social media that we talk about the book fair and different things to support the library. So this was 4 days and counting, and we had done the book fair is called Pause for Books. And I told the students and the staff that if we met it, that I would dress up as a dog. So that's coming up. Book fair is here. You know, we have really found, I have found just through research and just working on being a librarian for the last couple of years with social media, that it's all about Facebook for these parents. They just really want to connect, and they love seeing their kids on there. And so here we have beautiful books, beautiful books. The book fair is an exceptional selection for our students. And this was our book fair night, because we had a math night as well. And so what we have done since I've been a librarian, we purposely planned to have a book fair while there's a night event. There's another one with the kids. This was one of the last things that we put up for the book fair. We did it, not only we reached our book fair goal, but this spring book fair was the biggest book fair ever. Thank you to everyone, parents, students, staff, and especially our book volunteers. As promised, our librarian will dress up as a puppy soon. Congratulations. And this is kind of my tag. A reader today is a leader tomorrow, and I've noticed that my principal has picked it up, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so here we are on the Brazoria County library system, and if I want a book from the librarians, sometimes I'll just call and see if they have it, but this is what I'll do too. So right now I don't have the new Caldecott, and I'd like to see it. So within the district, what we'll do is if we need a book from each other or we don't have a book, I can go in and I'll look and see who has it. But requesting the book doesn't necessarily work, so we just email each other. And normally the high schoolers are wanting something that is from the elementary level that they would not necessarily want to buy. Okay, this is Miss Myers, and she's a para, and so a lot of times she pulls kids. And so what I'm going to talk to her about is how to get on the databases and all the different things that we have. That way if she wants to pull something or read a book, that just to know the steps. Because a lot of times as a teacher, I felt like, I know it's somewhere, but what do I need to do? So we're going to go walk her through this. So this is BConnect, and you know she has kids also in the district, and so depending on the elementary level or whatever school they're at, they're different. But here, you know how we can get online. Mm-hmm. It even has the library, and what we would do is just go down. So if you wanted to look something for your student, your kid, you can go down like that, or and so that's kind of cool. Okay. And then the Renaissance, all that's accessed here. And so Macavia, are you familiar with Macavia?
A little bit.
So we go to the databases, and Miss Myers is an old pro because she's had kids forever, but also this is great for, you know, these little ones. And so one thing I like is Pebble Go. It's very basic. I don't know if you remember me showing them.
This, yeah.
It's so nice, and it puts it in. What I like about this is it has that.
To read to them.
Mm-hmm. And for our level, it's really great. But also, Tumble Books. And so, Tumble Books, it has videos, it has a little bit of everything, and sometimes I even use them in the library. Okay. So you can put them on a book to read, and sometimes it'll do the video. It has all kind of different things that go with it. Has the video that goes with it. Tumble Books is a great way to go for them to do a little bit of learning, or like if they pull you for subbing, and things like that. And it gives them so much, so it opens it up where it's just not our library, but
Yeah.
all these different things. And you could get more specific, and if you go to settings, or I think it's search, it's very specific. So if you're looking for wanting to pull for Valentine's Day or whatever, you could go by subject, title, and then here you can choose the language. So if you're working with our Spanish students,
Wow.
yeah. Now I know we have a little girl that's come in recently from the Middle East, and I
Pakistan.
wonder if that might be something. Of course, it depends if it's video or reading, because at our level. So. Okay, today, so we're talking to Barb. She's part of administration, and Barb, and then we're going to just kind of play it while we talk. This is the new order that we received. It's not everything we ordered, but when you look at it, can you guess how much we have spent on this?
Can I guess how much you've spent on it?
How much would these books?
Including those?
No, just this on this table.
Has to be about $1,200.
Okay, so this table is 137 books, and we've spent $2,100 on it.
$2,100, yes.
So, like, the books don't go very far. So there's 137 books, and part of the reason that it goes a little bit more is because these books are so small. In Mackin, it's hard to get, Mackin is the company we use mostly, but it's very little bilingual. And remember we had talked about, we really want to update our bilingual in Spanish
That's
section.
mandatory, yeah.
Okay, so this table over here, if you see, do you know what this is?
That looks bilingual to me.
Nope, it's all books that need to be deleted because they're so gross. It's weeded. We call it weeded. That's 55 books. That's not even counting these. And if we look over here at our bilingual section,
Oh,
right?
this is an issue, yes.
And then we look over here at our English section. These are early readers. Those are specifically kindergarten and first grade level, which
Right.
AR has to be with it. So it's very sparse. Our focus is not that, but we have a nice representation. So early readers, so I'm going to advocate for a budget about what we had this year, which is a little over 5,000, to replace the copies so that we have this nice fuller section.
Yeah.
And so there, right here, over here, what we have is the name of the book. So not only are we just replacing, because we want to update. So every year we have the name of that book. So that's 20 extra books we buy, plus your award winners. It's just very interesting to see, because here we have our four boxes. I'm going to take it right here so we can see. This is what for Mackin. I don't know if you can see. That's how many, the $2,100 came in that. 4 boxes.
And they're all on this table.
They're all on that table.
Wow.
So that's what, yesterday we talked about budget and different things like that. And so that is something that we're going to really pursue on my side, and then maybe even work with bilingual and see how can we get more funds for those families. We're going to make new library cards for first grade, updating their AR level. You have to go to borrowers, then under labels. So barcode by responsible party. Okay, we don't want to do replacement ones. We want this one. I think it'll be the easier way to go. Location, so we're choosing, sorry, it's not on there. And then elementary, my school is elementary. And then you click on here to populate the responsible parties. And it gives us the barcodes, okay? So that has for the 2 teachers I'm looking for. And next step is to push print. So what I asked the teachers is just to do this part. I just asked them to fill out the name. Okay? So then I looked for their ZPD on Renaissance, and what the teachers have asked is to do the first 5 of that ZPD. Right now, that's what my school goes with, and so that's what, I'm just going to go with whatever they want. So we have the cards for Miss Howe's class, and then here are the barcodes that we ran off that we walked through earlier. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on the back. Makes it easy for myself or the staff just to run it, and we'll put them in a little pocket, and we'll show that later on that the students come, they pick it up, they find their name, and then they they get their book, and then they check out with the staff member that's running the CERT computers. So see, it's all ready to go. So we have 12 first grade teachers, and we kind of rolled this out before last week, and I just, as much as possible, I will try to do the work that's specific to the library for myself instead of the teachers doing it, because they're already doing a lot. So I want to really build that bridge of collaboration, and letting the teachers know that I'm there for them, not just for them to do something for me. So this is an easy way to say, hey, let me take that from you, and do it like that.
So he's got the dots on here the same way, but it's moved up a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah. So Elion, you're going to go look at this one. Anybody else with that box that I have? Miss Randon's class, please be quiet as you come in. You're going to look for those boxes and do it the same way. So if it's in this box, those are the books that you're going to look for. Do you understand?
Okay, today a student came in and paid for a damaged book, and usually I'm kind of okay with certain things, but this kid had just torn it up. It was cut and pulled pages. So anyways, I'm going to show you what I did to record it. Make myself a receipt for what the student had to put with the records, and that shows that it's paid. And I go into print, and then I just printed this, and it'll show, and I put it with the records in the classes. I was going to wait till everybody turned theirs in, but I thought, well, it'll be quicker to just do a little bit at a time, and better at time management. Sometimes I have parents that come in and help, and this is something I would have probably let the parents do, but it's also something good to show. Librarians always seem to be doing something different. So I've cut out these bookmarks, and that's what it's going to look like, and then we're going to put the barcodes on the back of it. I'm just going to do the two that I have. So in order to get both of them, I have to put Control.
Today, you're going to be the very first class that's going to be working on these new bookmarks.